are new here, my name is Juliet Kane. I post a new recipe both on my YouTube and on my blog, my written blog, and a lot on my social media. So follow me here, there, and on my social media so that you don't miss out on any new recipes. And for those who are coming back, thank you so much for supporting my channel, and thank you for being here. So today, as I have mentioned, we are going to be baking. We are going to be baking a carrot cake. So most of the time that I spend in the kitchen these days, at least, is baking. So I have collected some skills along the way because I do have a cake business, so I do a lot of baking, but I also love cooking anyway. I feel like cake is such a crowd pleaser, cakes and cupcakes, and you don't really need to do much. As long as you have the recipe and your mixture together, throw it in the oven, and when you bring it out, everybody will be happy. Anyone who tells you they don't like cake, I don't know what's wrong with them. You can also use this recipe for cupcakes instead in case you don't have a baking tray. And let's get into the recipe. So I will walk you guys through the ingredients, and then we'll come together, mix, and throw it in the oven. So for the ingredients we're going to be using today, I always divide them into two types, the wet and the dry ingredients, but in this case the only dry ingredient is the flour because I'll be using self-raising flour, so we don't need any baking powder or baking soda. So we'll put that aside. For the other ingredients, we have about half a cup of oil. Also, I will put all the quantities in the blog post, which I will leave linked in the description box. So we have half a cup of oil, and I will explain to you guys why I use oil instead of blue band in this recipe. We also have some sugar, some milk. We have 2 eggs over here. And then we are going to be using some mixed dry fruits. So I have some raisins and some sultanas. For the spices, we are going to be using some nutmeg and some cinnamon because they go so well with the carrot flavor. And then we are also going to be using our carrots. So for the sugar, I've used about half a cup because I do not want to use too much sugar because the carrots are pretty sugary and I'm not that much of a sweet tooth. So this is about half a cup of sugar. And what we'll start by doing is grating our carrots. So of course our first step is going to be mixing together the wet ingredients, and this means the eggs, the sugar. I know sugar is not right, but it does go with the wet ingredients, the milk, and then we will add in the dry ingredients. So I'm using about half a cup of oil, and I will be adding my sugar. So I had mentioned that I like using oil instead of margarine or butter for this recipe because when you're using any kind of vegetables in baking, so let's say carrots, zucchini, apples, just anything with water content, it's always advisable to use oil because margarine has a water content, and so when you add margarine and you add a vegetable with more water, it will water down your butter, which doesn't give you the best results. It will give you good results, but not the best. So when you use oil that doesn't have any water in it, then it balances it out and you get the perfect moist cake. So I will mix together the sugar and the oil before adding in my eggs. I will add in 2 eggs. So adding your first egg, mix it in. Adding your second egg. Mix that in. Our other wet ingredient is the milk, so we'll just whisk in some milk. Mix that together until it's well incorporated. For the next part, we will do our dry ingredients. So we have self-raising flour here. If you don't have self-raising flour, use normal flour all-purpose. Mix with some baking powder. So basically the ratio is 1 tablespoon of baking powder to 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and the cups that I'm using are these ones, not the normal drinking cups, these ones. So let's add in our cinnamon and our nutmeg. I'm going to add in the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. I am going to be using a colander to sieve out the flour so that it can be fluffier, to remove any kind of lumps that would be in the flour. Please don't come for my colander. I've had it for like 3 years now. I don't know how to let go, but I'm going to get another one. So I'll add it in 2 halves just to make work less messy. So after this is slightly incorporated, we'll add in the rest of it. Sieve it in. This part of sieving is not compulsory, but it is very relevant. I would advise you to sieve because it removes all these lumps. So I'm going to mix this together until it's well incorporated, and then I will add in my carrots and my dry fruits. In the meantime, as this is going on, make sure you're preheating your oven. Preheating the oven is a very important part because by the time the cake goes in, then you have even temperature all through the oven, so it will cook evenly. So I'm going to add in my carrots. Use as much or as little carrots as you like. I've used 2 large carrots because I love carrots, and I'm going to mix it in before adding the raisins. And we'll finally finish off with a mixture of raisins and sultanas. And I'm going to be using this pan to bake. Okay, so 1 minute, 1 second. So I'm going to be coating this pan in this oil. It probably won't stick because this is glass, but I don't take the chances because I've never really baked a cake in this particular one. I wanted to do a square shaped cake instead of a round one. I got this one from Chandarana, and it has really helped me because I bake a lot of cakes, and oiling the pan is kind of hectic. So when you just spray throughout, you're done. So this is one of the best investments I've made this year, and I'm just going to add my cake batter into the pan. Ready for the oven. We are going in at 180 degrees Celsius for about 30 to 40 minutes. In case it's more, in case it's less, I will put it in the blog post. So now this is about 40 minutes later. Toothpick, if it comes out dry, then it's fine. Cool a bit after it left the oven, and it's so pretty. Let me show you guys closer before I pack out the cream. But here's the cream that we've been whipping, and the plan is to just apply it on top just for a little bit of frosting because it doesn't really need much. You can have it like this with some tea. You can go ahead with the cream. You can use buttercream. So as the cake cools, I also want to make a quick cream to put on top. So I am using regular whipping cream. It's been in the fridge for a while. You can use heavy cream, whipping cream, the dairy one, or you can use some buttercream. I have a buttercream recipe that I will put in the description box, and then I will just whip this. You can use a hand mixer, which is much better, but I just want to show you guys that whisk also works. So I'm going to do the outro vlog style because I have set up the setup. The carrots make it even more moist. This is an amazing easy recipe. If you've gotten to this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. You'll find the written recipe with all the measurements in the written recipe, which is linked in the description box. Please follow me on my social media in case you try this recipe or any other of my recipes. Tell me how you found it, if you liked it, and anything else. I hope you guys have a lovely week. Hope to see you soon. Bye.